Oh, sure. Yes. No biggie. Yeah.
Only 1/4. Shouldn't break any bones.
No biggie. Yeah. No biggie.
Shouldn't break any bones.
Can you all confirm you're in the seat with your name on it? Yes. 100%, yeah? The reason being is that we call down alphabetical order, so we'll go from right to left. John here will be guiding before up and down. Okay, so we see the names will come up on the screen like this. Then John will ask to stand in groups. John, I think, said groups of 5 or 6. You just follow John's lead, so start with the right hand side here. Come down the steps, and gather. So when you stand up, for example, you can stand here behind the stairs. And then you stand here, then you'll be called beginners, stand the staff over around like that. On your shoulders. If you don't want to have staff placed on your shoulders, just stand with hands down like this. And then shake the hand of the person presenting.
And then, yes, so you'll come back up here and the aisle will be clear. Hopefully you'll be able to make it.
Probably don't. Surely.
Which one of those? Yeah, that's the right thing.
Does that make sense, guys? So stand up, shift along, come back round, sit down in the seat and shift along. Should everyone back in the seat?
So we sitting every time.
Yeah, sit there, shift.
Lovely bit of music on there. That's good. Love it. So get your gown really caught into the seat, you know, the pump.
Oh yes, be careful of the gowns.
Lift. I can't hear this so loud.
You can't beat
So, everyone understand? That's good. Everyone understand the rules?
Yeah.
Stand and shift.
Stand
Back round upstairs.
stand shift, love it.
Watch along, sit down as a people behind the seat. Watch John. Okay. Have fun, everyone. Thank you very much.
You look great. I don't know, have a look. Do you want to be in there? You're waiting to decide if you... We're in the basement. I know. Yeah, I sort of it wasn't obviously quite.
Sorry.
Are they live already? Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'll mix it up. They shoot over it.
Okay.
Over the lights.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. If I can be kind of here.
I'm not right.
No, sweet. Just yeah, awesome. Cool. I think I'm aiming to get like one of each person. As they get there. It's like.
I also wonder
But then we can get in.
just for an alternate angle. I think we would be able to.
I think the challenge would be just to play again. You just play again. You just back down. On stage.
Is that, oh, they're coming through there?
Through that way, but it's not.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. I'll do a bit of running around Germany, like links to arm. I'll do a bit of running around Germany, links to arm, but yeah. And there's a few chats first, and then.
Discovered the greenhouse effect and lots of elements from periodic table were discovered here. What's rarer, of course, is a major experiment in education. And that's because it involves people's lives. If you're going to make a decision to study an undergrad somewhere or a master's degree somewhere, it's going to involve an irreversible amount of time and effort and money and energy. And the students or ex-students you see today have been living and breathing and co-designing this experiment with us, and that took a lot of curiosity to start with and then bravery. So that's what we're going to focus on today, and that's part of what we're celebrating today. Specifically, today we're celebrating our bachelor's and master's graduates to be, not quite graduates yet. We'll be hearing from some of our students, we'll be hearing from some of our faculty, we'll be hearing from our guest speakers, Professor Patricia Daly and John Petridis. I'm just here to welcome you, so, you know, go to the fire exits and say it's an alarm, don't do it, that kind of thing. Right, who's here? Our former students, welcome to you. Our team are here, welcome to you. Some of our former teammates are here as well, so Mike and Catalina, and Kelly and Tony, welcome to you. It's great to see you back. Perhaps most importantly, I want to welcome the parents and carers and friends and partners and lovers of our graduating class. It is easy to support somebody that is doing something conventionally prestigious. And, you know, LIS is cool and all, but we're not that. So to give your unyielding support to these students during this time, I think makes it all the more meaningful. Recognition of what you've achieved is through these scarves. So it's the sort of representation. These are designed by a local designer called Hannah Wild, and these are all generated from offcuts. So it's a sustainable way of creating a university scarf. And the design of it, there's a slide to represent this. The detail in the scarves matters. So the master's one is different to the bachelor's one, and it represents that diversity, that range of intellectual achievement that you have done in completing this degree. So everything has been prepared for today down to the last detail. The only thing I haven't rehearsed is your applause. And so if in doubt, just applause. That's it. Make the noise, fill the space. We've nearly filled it. There's a few empty seats. But actually, I was looking back at this. The graduating class of LSE was 9 people. The graduating class of MIT was 14 people. Stanford had a party, their graduating class in the first year was 3 people. So all of these institutions look inevitable in hindsight, but what they looked like at the time was just a handful of people who were willing to take a risk and believe in something. And that's what this group of people have done. So I'm going to hand over to our first guest speaker. Patricia Daly is a professor of human geography of Africa. She's a Helen Morag Fellow at Jesus College, where she also used to be Vice Principal. And she has just left one big job for another. So she was on the Council of Oxford University, and she's just become the Chair of the Academic Council of another university called LIS. We're very, very happy to have her, and I'm really excited to introduce her today. Patricia.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations, graduates. That's the term we use when they haven't yet graduated. Greetings to your families, friends, and to your dedicated tutors. It gives me great pleasure to be here at this momentous stage in your academic journey, after completing your very special degree in an equally very special academic institution. I have only recently joined LIS as chair of their academic council. I was excited to be part of an institution that challenges conventional disciplinary approaches to the organization of teaching and learning. Interdisciplinarity has been at the forefront of debates about how young people and researchers can be best equipped to address the complexity of the problems we face, be they social, economic, environmental, or political. To find innovative solutions, we can no longer rely on honing our skills in one field. In the real world, we have to cross disciplinary boundaries in order to solve problems. Think, perhaps, of climate scientists in this moment of climate change denialism. These scientists can no longer just focus on the science to convince people. They need to learn about communication, policy development, and human behavior, amongst a range of other related fields. LIS's problem-solving interdisciplinary programs are able to equip students to address the complex problems we'll face now and in the future. Interdisciplinarity requires innovative pedagogies, addressing how students learn, what range of skills they develop, and how they are assessed. LIS is now at the forefront of this exciting design process in interdisciplinary higher education. Graduates, you have excelled in a multiplicity of skills. Your outputs have been impressive, and I see that you are well prepared for the next phase in your careers. You will not be daunted by new challenges. You'll be receptive to new ideas, from whichever direction they come, and you will thrive. Many, many congratulations to you and your families. Thank you.
is good, isn't it? Agreed. So I'm a founder, like Ed, like Chris. No longer at LIS, but very happy to see it thriving in such wonderful, wonderful hands. And of course, I had the great pleasure and honour of accompanying our second graduating cohort to this point today. So it's a great pleasure indeed to be standing here to congratulate you. And you are the second only cohort ever, of course, to graduate from LIS. You're a small group, as you've noticed, but perfectly full. And this whole occasion, graduating LIS students still feels incredibly fresh, incredibly new and important. I just think this is an important institution, and that's why it's so important that you chose to be part of it, and that it endures and carries on and goes forward, because higher education is certainly at the moment when it has to completely rethink what it's doing, why it's doing it, and how it does it. I'm not sure if you remember, but this perhaps is a good time to recall that when new students joined LIS all those years ago, I told the story of how it's actually the first followers who truly make any movement. This is a hugely underrated fact, I think. Yes, we need our mavericks, our nutters, if you like, the first years, who many of you know, of course, have to strike out and go where no one else has gone before, to create something kind of out of nothing. But actually, those who choose to follow those nutters, mavericks, they must be equally brave in their own way. Because you know that in making that choice, you will be building the movement. You are making the movement. A lone or solo voice or group gets lost, really, and can quickly disappear or evaporate. But a chain of people really builds a movement. And that's what you've done. You've built a movement, which I think you can now see growing in confidence and size behind you. I think the LIS PhD degree is very challenging, or at least actually it should be, if you do it right. It requires a unique breadth of intellectual abilities and a kind of emotional resilience, which you need to take on both intellectual challenges far outside those you may have experienced in your previous studies, and indeed, and this is perhaps an overlooked aspect of our curriculum, to dwell for long periods of time on many real-world problems which have no obvious solutions, and in which it may appear hard to make headway. So I think the resilience required to appreciate that the world is extremely complex, and to make any positive intervention is challenging. It's something many undergraduates don't have to confront, and I think you confront it bravely, continuously, really, throughout your studies. But I do believe, and you probably heard me bang on about this a bit, everything worth doing in life is hard. Whether it's knocking your head against difficult data science or boring statistics, which Anson insists that you crack on with, or whether it's making a beautiful...
It's not boring.
Right. Or creating a beautiful, impactful video that meets Maria's standards. Or when you're starting your own business, or as Ed and Chris have done founding a university, or indeed building or sustaining a marriage, or getting serious about triathlon in your late 50s and 60s. All these things are hard, but it's only in sticking with real and sustained challenge through all the boring bits, through all the ups and downs, through all the real trials, that we find out who we are, how we can grow. All of you gathered here today have met this challenge in several ways on the LIS PhD, and you've sustained the course through many ups and downs and highs and lows. That itself is a great achievement. You are pioneers and should be immensely proud of yourselves. As the chair of the LIS board said, this is not Patricia Taylor Council, chair of our LIS board, Mary Clark Cook, said, for those of us privileged enough in life to attend university does really define us in some way. Maybe it's because it's that time of life at which we experience university. Maybe it's the unique combination of the intellectual and the emotional mixed together in a way we never quite have the privilege to experience again in our lives. Maybe it's the people we meet. Rarely, again in life, are we thrown together with such a range and diverse mix of people. And perhaps here, I don't know how many of you know this, we actually have our first LIS marriage on the card. We have a current third year, we proposed to one of our first year graduates 10 days ago, and she said yes. This is the first for me. I don't think I know loves first relations and even occasionally a life partner will emerge. Whatever the reason that university is such a special and defining place, and for most of us it's a mixture of all these kinds of things, we will remember these moments. You will remember so much, I think, these last 3 years for the rest of your lives. I will certainly have lots of memories of you. From the first pioneering attempts, I think, at AI collaborative essays, remember those? How dated that might seem, you know, in a few years' time, but it was really exciting to try that so early on. Some fantastic things we produced, of course. To some attempts we made at having students as coaches and the HR issues that threw up, which you helped us navigate, and that's an example of kind of the non-intellectual academic side of your experience, which you helped us drive through. So many things we need to work with as a university. Right through to some excellent final year dissertations, which I had the pleasure to supervise and to read. So speaking of AI in the future, we are of course excited to hear and see what we do next. This has been said many times before, perhaps it's almost getting trite, but it does feel now that we're on the verge of something very different with regard to graduate jobs. Some of you may choose to avoid the whole AI thing altogether, and that's fine too. You might choose to work outside, in gardens or in farms, or with people for whom the human contact is still by far the most important thing, and for whom AI is of distant relevance at best. But most of you, I think, many of you going into the normal world of graduate and knowledge work, are entering a time of almost unimaginable excitement and disruption that this term of the revolution of the internet will bring. I do believe, as Patricia's highlighted really, your experience of LIS, of walking into the unknown and navigating your way successfully in that kind of complexity, to the point you made today, has set you up very, very well, perhaps uniquely well as a graduate, to negotiate this world calmly and without too much fear, or at least much less fear, perhaps, than many other people entering the space. So please take confidence in that. I think you're really well set up for the next stages of your life. Whatever moves you do make next, of course, we want to keep in touch with you. We're so excited. I'm not looking around for any further marriages, but, you know, let us know. And we really want to hear about all your future projects and plans. So many congratulations indeed. I don't know how to get applause now. And now I'm going to pass over to Dr. Amelia Peterson, and we'll present the awards. They become official graduates once they have a scarf wrapped around them, and Amelia said thing.
The magic shift from graduands to graduates.
How can you tell me scarf?
Hello, I'm Amelia Peterson. I'm part of the faculty at LIS still. Been here from the start, and it's a real humbling honour to be able to introduce the graduates to you on behalf of our wonderful, dynamic and challenging team who are here. I want to very briefly say something about this cohort, because I came back to teach their first module, their first problems module, off the back of my first mat leave, when I was somewhat sleep deprived, still probably deeply hormone-ridden, and they say in that period that it's difficult to lay down new memories, but I distinctly remember those 3 months, every aspect of it, and they're memories that will stay with me, and I'm so glad of that. Obviously, we've done as much from you as you hopefully do from us, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure to get to know you. Right. Our first, Clarissa Brown. Emma Jones. two particular awards that we give to the graduates. We have some debate as an institution, as we do about many things, but we have some debate about the giving of individual awards, because so much of what we do at LIS is about working collaboratively, collectively, working in groups. But we do also want to honour excellence and want to honour courage, and so these awards are in that spirit. And the first of these, I hope it's in the right order. Yes. From my magic lectern, the William Morris Award, which is named after the polymath, William Morris, who lived and worked in East London, and was both an artist and an entrepreneur, and someone who really kind of brought those together to try to spread ideas and spread object creations, and spread the idea that the bringing together of arts and science can expand access to them for populations. And this award is awarded to Rachel McGrath.
Thank you, Amelia. I'm really very honoured to be recognised and to receive an award of such an expansive individual. And it's my intention that this award reminds me never to squeeze back into just one box, having recently escaped the corporate one. I'd like to share a little bit about my journey to get here, because for a long time a degree wasn't possibly on the cards for me. So when I told my family and friends and colleagues that I was leaving my somewhat comfortable corporate job 3 years ago, I was met with mixed reactions. A fair amount of concern, a little bit of horror, but encouragingly enough admiration to kind of take the leap. One of those reactions that has stayed with me was my dad, who said to me on the phone, "That's great, Rach, but I really wish you hadn't done it the hard way around." And by that, you know, you're supposed to do a degree, then get a job. And yeah, I'm just really glad to be standing here so I could show him how it's done. You might be thinking this is a rather unconventional acknowledgement, and you'd be right. It's clearly upsetting some people. There's not much unconventional. There's not much conventional, as Carl mentioned about LIS, about me, or the very special people that I've spent the last 3 years having the pleasure to get to know, which is why I'm so grateful to have landed a place to study here in 2022. And on that note of gratitude, really this award is an opportunity for me to thank you to all the special people that supported me. An impossible task to do in just 5 minutes, but I give it my best shot. Have to start with family. So I would love to thank my mum and dad. For never I want to thank you for never questioning my decision to take this risk. And I'd like to thank my sister Summer for making sure that I stuck to this decision when I don't, which was a lot. I'd like to thank Alicia and Catherine, who are not here, but for their steadfast and unwavering commitment to not only my student support wellbeing, but that of my graduating class and everybody that stands in front of me today. I'm grateful to my supervisor, I can't see him, for encouraging me to think big over the last year, to ignore the noise and to pursue what excites me. I really hope that you and I are talking about saunas for years to come. And on that note, to all of the faculty, I'm really in awe of your world-class teaching, and I feel indebted that you've also chose a somewhat unconventional route to bring that craft to LIS, and that I got to experience, and we got to experience much of that in depth whilst we were still small over the last 3 years. Each of you have kind of shaped who I've become, even my harshest markers, and I am thinking of you this year.
That is true.
My thanks to Anastasia. I don't know if she's here today, and she may not remember this, but I think it's a really important point. It was Anastasia that would ring me almost every week after I got my offer to make sure that I had done my maths foundation to go back to university, and whether I found a flat that would accept my cat, Izzy. I didn't know I wanted it for 3 years. And so I think that, you know, she's a wonderful example of how the staff at LIS are so dedicated to the student experience. And on that note to the staff, some of you I'm fortunate to have called colleagues at some point. Thank you for everything you do behind the scenes for making LIS a place that I've been proud to call my home. And most importantly, to my cohort, the first followers. I'm so proud of you all, no child's crying. You took a huge risk in joining this class, and while we may have been smaller than some of us had expected, I know that the impact you'll have on the world will be great. Yeah, I'm just pretty proud of you. Yeah, so to close, if you take anything from what I've said today, I hope it's that you trust your own timing. More importantly here, 8 years later than expected. On my third attempt to get a degree, first pass, published research, and absolutely no regrets dad of doing it the hard way. Thank you.
Do an applause while I'm organizing this. Dear students, parents, LIS team members, LIS board members, future prime ministers and other dignitaries. I have been given the honor to announce the winner of the Plum Turner Award. As I think you're all aware, LIS is a new kid on the block, a new dish in the higher education menu. It may sound basic, but our very first existential goal was to have students. No students, no university. We kind of knew what type of students we were looking for, but not quite sure how to find them. At the time, back in 2020, 21, something called COVID was raging, physical world was sort of on and off, and digital dialogues took over. It was all very strange. And we were an eclectic team of crazy entrepreneurs and even nuttier professors. No campus, not a lot of money, but with a shared belief, of course they'd come to us. Recipe for disaster, perhaps. But we were in luck because we had Plum. Like all of us founders, she of course had never opened a university before, but what she lacked in that specific experience, she had in abundance in her attitude to life and work. Through a steely determination to succeed, she led our marketing efforts to seek out and convince this incredibly brave, committed, generally wonderful group of young people to join LIS, the very early stage of our existence. Sadly, in the aftermath of the bicycle accident, Plum passed away last year, and to honor her memory, for every year to come, we will give out the Plum Turner Award. At Plum's funeral, and Plum's mom is here, by the way, which is lovely to have her here. At her funeral, a friend of hers read out Plum's rules. Rules she lived by during her far too short life. So we're going to go through those rules. I think you'll like them. Rule number 1, think big, then double it. Number 2, if it's easy to do, it's not worth doing. Number 3, if you're 100% certain that an event is going to work perfectly, you're probably not being ambitious enough. Number 4, if given more than one option, always choose the most difficult one. I really like that one. Who the hell started a new university? Never treat no as an acceptable answer. I'm going to read that one again because I think it's absolutely brilliant. Never treat no as an acceptable answer. Number 6, try not to tell people what's supposed to happen. Then surprise them with all that you have managed to achieve. Number 7, when a friend comes to you with an idea, encourage and champion them endlessly. And number 8, of Plum's 8 rules, pursue new dreams, bring energy, and don't give up. So this year we had lots of strong contenders, but one person stood out, and I'm going to read out some of the motivations. Nothing seems to be impossible for her, and I think this is a girl. Sorry. Nothing seems to be impossible for her, and I think she secretly preferred the rocky road rather than the straight path. During her time at LIS, she sat on pretty much every committee, was unafraid to offer her robust feedback both to us when she felt like the institution needed to do better, and to her peers when she felt like their complaints were unreasonable. Welcome. And the third reason, I think she aligns with thinking big then doubling it. At the beginning of her final year, she set her eyes on landing a big role in New York as a cybersecurity consultant at Palo Alto Network. So this year's Plum Turner Award goes to LIS Graduation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honoured to be standing up here receiving the Plum Turner Award. Although I didn't get a chance to meet her, I know that her legacy lives on through her family and through LIS, and I know that she would be utterly proud to see all of the faces in this auditorium today as graduates of the London Interdisciplinary School. The world is moving at an unprecedented rate, with technological advancements and global challenges intensifying. Success no longer belongs to those who merely follow established paths. Instead, it demands individuals capable of creative, integrated thinking to not only tackle these new problems, but participate in its growth. Plum could foresee this skill set to overcome the challenges we are facing today and created this set of 8 foundational rules which embody the very skill set required to overcome the complexity of our modern world. When I first read Plum's rules, they felt more like ways of living a life, bold, chaotic, and endlessly ambitious. It feels like it mirrors what we've been doing here for the past 3 years, working in the spaces between disciplines, where complexity and opportunity lies. I wanted to go through just 3 of Plum's rules that mean just the most to me. So rule 1, think big, then double it. Every time I thought I was thinking big, LIS taught me to stretch even further, to zoom in and zoom out at the same time, to lean into the chaos and work to understand the global and interconnected context. This rule is about embracing the absurdity of true ambition, taking one idea and making it frighteningly vast. These spaces where we are scared and where real breakthroughs happen. Now, rule 4. If given more than one option, always choose the most difficult one. I think my decisions over the past 6 months have proved that I may have taken this one slightly too literally, having moved country to work in a tech company, a sector that I really never thought I would be for. But it's also the rule that pushes us outside of our comfort zone, to pursue those opportunities, and to take risks we never would have imagined at the start of our journey at LIS. If we had chosen the easy path, we would have gone to a university where the answers were contained within boxes. Instead, we chose LIS. We chose the university that designed integration of philosophy with data science, with neuroscience with law. Thinking back on our first Founders Day, I remember being so scared of the choice I'd made, but excited by all of the incredibly interesting and smart people that I stood next to and I'm now sat next to today. The choice was a very difficult one, but it's also the choice that has forged us into resilient and creative thinkers standing here today. And now, after all this time, we stand together in this room as graduates. Now, rule 7. When a friend comes to you with an idea, champion them endlessly. This community has been full of people who do exactly that. Friends who show up, who ask the questions that spark better answers, who listen to half-formed thoughts and say, you can do this. Staff who saw potential in me long before I learned to see it myself, and mentors who encouraged me to push harder and to be more ambitious both academically and professionally. This may be my board, but it represents all of those people around me, classmates, faculty, friends, and my family. The ones who encourage every strange idea, every pivot, every new path, and now we stand here as graduates, and Plum's Rule 8, to pursue new dreams, bring the energy, and not give up feels especially powerful. The world we're stepping into needs people who think differently, who can navigate complexity, who can challenge the status quo with creativity and conviction. It needs people willing to dream boldly and pursue those dreams relentlessly. I'm proud to be graduating alongside people who do exactly that. So, to Plum's family, thank you for allowing her legacy to continue to inspire students like me. Her rules are more than mottos, they're permission to live ambitiously, courageously, and generously. To my family, thank you so much for championing me on my world choices and believing in every version that I've tried to become. To my classmates, thank you for making this journey just so much bigger than I could have ever imagined it, and then doubling it. And to the staff who nominated me and believed in me, thank you, I'm truly grateful. As we step into what's next, I hope we carry Plum's spirit with us, to think big, to choose the difficult path, and champion each other endlessly, and pursue new dreams with energy and conviction. Thank you.
2 years, I think you actually had a job as such. That's a big deal. I didn't have a job for 4 years. Anyway, so we worked together all that time ago, and then John left to go and start companies in different parts of Africa. He started all of them with a social purpose, a fintech company, a health care company, which he's still the chair of. And then he came back to the UK, he founded a company called All Plants, which served 10 million meals, plant-based, delivered-to-your-door meals to people over the last few years. I did buy a few of them, John. And he has got an unusual amount of energy and sense of purpose, and I think he's a great role model to me. But to everybody, you know, so I'm really excited to have John here today.
Thank you, Ed. Wow, standing here in this amazing auditorium with you today, I feel I have to confess something. I've never been qualified for a single thing that I've done, including this speech to you. It's true. As far as the professional world goes, I'm a total dropout, as Ed shared. I haven't done a real job or donned a suit since the financial crash in 2008, 2009. And academically, I'm just a simple history BA. And now, here I am looking out at all of you, inspirational, world-changing, polymathic problem solving. Wow. So you can imagine my surprise when Ed invited me to talk at graduation. Yes, I was genuinely honoured. I've always believed in LIS from the day it was founded, believed in what this model of education will unlock for the world, and believed in you, the people who bravely seek out this awesome learning platform and pursue it for yourselves. But come on, Ed, what would I have to say? He said, you built a bunch of impact ventures, just talk about the life of an entrepreneur. So, with that helpful guidance, I wondered what might actually be worthy of a room bursting with such talent and potential. And I figured I'll share 3 learnings that I hope my children have grasped by the time they graduate. Firstly, believe. There's one realization that changes everything in life and work, and it struck for me in my mid-20s. It's the moment you realize that everything around us, from toothbrushes to aeroplanes to cathedrals to financial systems, it's all been imagined and created by normal people, no smarter than you or me. And if they could build it and break it and redesign it, so can you. You can poke at the world, you can imagine something better, and you can make that thing a reality. I've definitely learned this, and the power of belief in building Penda Health, which is the healthcare company I mentioned. Between my 3 co-founders and I, we held not a single doctor's experience or way of working in healthcare between us. All we had was a conviction that healthcare in Kenya was broken for normal families. And that something better, something much better, was clearly possible and would have a hugely positive impact. For the first 4 years, we survived on no more than a few months of cash ever. We were operating and iterating one tiny clinic on the outskirts of Nairobi, and trying everything, I mean everything, to prove that this new model might work. That was 14 years back, and now Penda is a chain of 25 medical centres. We just made it to this world called profit, which I don't really understand. And we've served millions of patients with better primary care than most of us grew up with here in the UK, all for about $5 a visit. That happened because we believed a vital change was possible, long before it looked possible. And that belief is available to you all, so make sure you gift it to yourself. Number 2 is permission. Don't wait for it. Nobody is going to give it to you. Before Penda, I co-founded Kenya's first digital bank. I had 0 experience in banking or tech or starting a company. I'd never set foot in the entirety of Africa, and with very little funding as well. I even had to build the first version of our core banking infrastructure and run it live in Excel. In hindsight, I realize now this may sound extremely naive, but that's how Mshwari began. We quit our jobs, stood in the markets of Nairobi, and recruited our first few hundred customers, which was basically anybody who stopped to talk to us. And today, something I can't take any credit for because I left over a decade ago, But that simple little idea now serves more than 30 million daily active users in 7 countries, and the majority of them were previously ignored and excluded by traditional banks, too poor to merit a bank account. And we made this happen not because we were qualified or experienced, and certainly not because someone gave us permission, but because we gave ourselves permission to think different and to start, and challenge conventional wisdom. So please hear this, your degree, as amazing as it is, it doesn't give you permission. Your job title won't give you permission, and the world isn't going to give you permission. You already have it. So just get started. And lastly, obsession. This is my favorite one. People often imagine entrepreneurs as maverick nutters, perhaps slightly unhinged masochists, who have perfect clarity. Like they always know exactly what they're doing and where they're going. I've never had perfect clarity. But I have found obsession. Obsession with fixing a problem is what gives you a shot at creating something people truly love. At powering through the millions of mistakes and failures and joyfully extracting the learnings to go again. Obsession that the world needs this is what carries you through the days and weeks when everything is impossible and imploding. When you're staring at a wall of problems and realizing, I think this might be the end. Let me be abundantly clear. Starting and running any business of any size, whether a quaint little restaurant or an AI-enabled climate tech platform, they're all just as hard. It's super, super hard. It's a day after day delight of running into brick walls where often the only way is to bulldoze through. So you better make sure you pick something worth the fight. I found you can't rush or plan when you'll stumble upon something worthy of a founder's journey. It definitely requires patience, luck, and freeing up your curiosity to play with ideas. It also helps to surround yourself with other brilliant crazies, as everyone at LIS did. But once you've found obsession, no matter how harrowing the battle, they may knock you down, but you will always get back up again. And that's what winning in venture is really all about. Building all plants from day one, I was genuinely obsessed with a simple belief. The world needs us to inspire everyone to meet more plants, and we can make it happen faster with flavour. That bloody-minded obsession is what kept me creative, resilient, even when it felt like I was chewing glass and staring into the abyss. And guys, life is short, so try to find a chance to work on things that you're wildly excited to see change in the world. I can tell you now, it's a lot more fun. Everything I've done really, from a bank to a hospital chain to a food company, came from believing before I was ready, starting without permission, and being totally obsessed that we were building something the world needed. You can do the same. In fact, you can do more. And that brings me to why I'm actually standing here today. I wanted to come and join your graduation because I know that in this room right now sits a whole load of people who are going to have an enormously positive impact on the world. My hope is that 20 years from now, the LIS graduation will probably be in a room 10 times this size, and one of you will be standing on the stage, telling the story of how you built something remarkable, something the world needed, and something you fought like crazy to make happen. And I hope I have the chance to cheer you on. So, class of 2025, you freshly minted world changers, please believe me that you can create anything. Please do not wait for permission. And let yourself discover something that the world needs fixing. And obsess, obsess, obsess. If a serially underqualified historian can make a little dent, just imagine what you will do. Thanks.
Thank you everybody for coming here. I guess extend my welcome to all the welcomes you've received. It's amazing to see so many people. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit now on some points that have been already alluded to by previous speakers. And in particular, I want to talk about the topic of change. Now, we expect change to announce itself when it comes. We expect there to be a flag waved, big red flags, and change on the way. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you witness a historical event, assassination of JFK, fall of the Berlin Wall, 9/11, these events which are historically important and harbingers of change. That happens. But most of the time, that isn't where change occurs. Most of the time, change happens slowly and invisibly. And then it comes up and it taps you on the shoulder and it says, I am already here. So the point I'm making here is that we are often in the midst of these processes of intense change. And we can't quite see them because we're in the midst of it. And I want to use that to kind of talk a little bit about the cohort of master's students that's in front of me. Because this is a cohort that is made up of part-time online students and in-person full-time students. Now we don't distinguish between the two cohorts, of course. We see lots of people from the digital side coming in person to the building, lots of people who are in the building take classes online. So it's very mixed, and I don't want to make the principal distinction. But it seems to us to be an unexceptional thing that you can do a degree online. Now this is change that crept in under the radar. It was only 10 years ago, in 2015, that technology became available to make that possible. In 2015, you had Zoom, you had Skype, you had various other capacities for being virtually present in real time during the process of instruction. 10 years is very, very little in absolute terms. To contextualize that, the first telegraph was sent in 1844. The last telegraph was sent in 1990. And in that time, you had a medium of communication that persisted. Now in 10 years, we've gone from a scenario where you could only do distance education via remote, to Open University, to other media like that, or else you just couldn't do it at all. And this is a huge instance of a technological change, what William Gibson, the science fiction writer, called the burn of the new. And the burn of the new animates everything we do at LIS. And what I want to suggest is that we've gone through lots of processes of technological change already, I'll allude to some of them. Sometimes it's worked flawlessly, sometimes it's been brilliant, sometimes we've seen it as a testament to humanity's mastery in technology. Other times they're all the finesse of a dog gagging on a hairball. But in all cases, we come through that process and we come through that filter and we're out the other side. Now what we're looking at now is another form of change. You've heard artificial intelligence talked about at length, or alluded to at length by previous speakers here. And that's coming. We see its early forms already, and bear that in mind, we're seeing its early forms. The transformer architectures that we use now, they're harbingers of what is to come. We're going to see the biggest cognitive revolution since the emergence of anatomically modern humans 200,000 years ago. And it's going to happen soon. And it's probably going to happen in a smaller space than 10 years. And what I would like to say, to pick up on Carol's point, is that this exposure to the burn of the new is the only training you can have facing into this process of imminent technological change. We don't know what it's going to look like, we can't predict what it's going to look like, we couldn't predict what online learning is going to look like. In 2006, if we predicted what online learning was going to look like, we would have thought we were being taught by a Fox avatar, like I paid $1 million. It looks very different. But what we're going to see coming out is cognitive revolutions that we simply can't anticipate the shape of. And the only way you can deal with that level of unpredictability is to be open to it, is to be not afraid of it, to be able to immerse yourself in it and not be overwhelmed by it. Now, the program that you've taken has tried to put you in that position, not of overwhelming you, but of exposing you to this process of rapid cognitive shifts. And hopefully you come through it, happens to that year. But hopefully going through that wasn't a traumatic process, but it was nevertheless a painful process. It needed to be painful, and it has to be painful. But you've been trained in the toughest training ground there is. Anything that happens next, you will be ready for. And I certainly think I joined my colleagues in saying that I hope you also never meet yourselves ever again.
Hi everyone, it is a pleasure for me. My name is Maria Angelica Madero, Associate Program Director, to announce the mass graduates today. So we're going to start with Isaac Barrio in absence. Leah Barney. So I have the honor today to introduce the Florence Nightingale Prize. So guests and now graduates, it is my honor to introduce this Mass Prize for Academic Excellence. We don't have the names yet. To start, let's reflect briefly on the life of Florence Nightingale. She was known as the founder of modern nursing and was basically doing interdisciplinarity before it was as cool as we do it now. She transformed healthcare, invented new forms of statistical visualization, and campaigned for social reform. In other words, she did data, care, activism, and we could say design thinking all at once. We put it in the LIS terms. She also showed us the power of multiple perspectives, as we teach you, that mathematics, healthcare, agency, and activism must intersect if we are to make the world a better place. And if she were here today, she'd probably be asking why we still haven't fixed most of the things she pointed out in the 19th century. But today, as we honor her legacy, we also celebrate a new generation of thinkers. And this year, we recognize two individuals whose contributions to the Mass have been extraordinary, each in their own distinct way. So can you have the names now? Thank you. So first, Rich carries an uncommon talent for seeing through the lens, literally and metaphorically. His ability to keep learning with tireless curiosity really enriches our community. He's still part of the core team. What stands out more is the generosity, so the way he shares what he knows with all of us, students and faculty equally. When complexity feels overwhelming, Rich reminds us that framing makes meaning, and that a shift in perspective can change everything, and his capstone was a court game on regrets. On the other side, we have Sebastian. Sebastian Carroll embodies a different but equally dazzling form of interdisciplinarity. His humor and intelligence travel together. His intelligence is not a decoration, but a sharpened tool for insight, and somehow, while doing 2 degrees at once with his, he remains outstanding, present, curious, incisive. His questions in my class, but straight to the heart of things, always with warmth and intention. But they are not alone in producing exceptional work. Their peers have also excelled in many ways. So in celebrating Rich and Sebastian, we also acknowledge their cohort's achievements because we work together. To all our Mass students, congratulations. Your work and commitment reminds us every day when we do this in the program. And to Rich and Sebastian, thank you for modeling the values that this prize represents, that art and science are intertwined ways of understanding the world and finding joy in the world. So please join me celebrating Rich and Sebastian, whose interdisciplinary spirit reflects the heart of this prize.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start this with some reassurance. Under threat of having our Florence Nightingale Award revoked, we've been told to keep this to 5 minutes, which means we won't be saying the name of the course and university as much, as that will take up half the time. We should also be acknowledging the double act. I will be playing the role of the articulate, scholastic one.
And I'm going to be the jargon-busting, plain-speaking one.
To show how this partnership has grown, I want to share the nicest thing Rich has ever said to me. He said, and I quote, "You're really nice." And much of a twat as I expected.
I stand by that.
Standing here at the Royal Institution is slightly surreal. This is a place where Faraday lectured on electricity, where great breakthroughs in science were announced. And tonight, or not tonight, afternoon, you're listening to two people who once had a compulsory workshop on how best to eat rocks. But perhaps we should start with the basics. The name of the course. It took Rich 15 months to realize this, but it was actually called Interdisciplinary Problems and Methods at the London Interdisciplinary School.
Or as we called it, bits and bobs.
Over the last 2 years, we've been asked a set of very reasonable questions. What, in all seriousness, is this degree? Does it bear comparison with the august rigor of other institutions? And will it, perchance, secure you gainful employment?
What is this Mickey Mouse degree you do?
So we devised a simple test. Mickey Mouse degrees do not typically require you to learn complexity theory and debate the panpsychist nature of AI. Nor do they usually include a lecture titled, and I quote, "The Structural Micro-Foundations Theory of Society," which calmly explains that a trivial fact of our species' social life is that the human social network edge type varies, and that this variation is not only important for each of these relationships, but also for the structure of the social network around us. Take it away, The other question people ask is, what kind of person chooses this degree? In my case, the answer was someone who thought it would be relaxing to do it alongside two other full-time master's degrees in bioengineering and computer science.
And in my case, I saw a poster.
Which, in a way, sums up the MASC perfectly. Neither of us had a grand plan. We just craved a new way of looking at the world. Alongside anthropology, coding, linguistics, probability, statistics, complexity theory, and analyzing visual data, we also took part in several immersion weeks.
Basically hanging out.
One such week involved a psychogeography expedition to Southend-on-Sea. Based on the use of the word psychogeography, we assumed it would be like Lonely Planet for the mentally deranged.
Which suits LIS students.
Instead, what we got was a reflective exercise in sharing personal histories linked to a geographical place, culminating in a team bonding activity involving culturally blended food.
In other words, a walk along the beach and lunch at Maria and Henniger's house.
Aside, though, from the rock-eating artists, the coastal psychogeography, and the structural micro-foundations, what really made this degree work was the people.
We found our tribe.
We came from all walks of life, scattered across the globe, but united by this strange and wonderful experiment of a degree and a shared commitment to helping one another through it.
From the late night calls and sideline group therapy chats with Shaheen, Kirsten, Laura and Adil,
The genius bar level coding and AI support, support from Edna, Alex, and Lawrence.
The last-minute activity planning with Julia, Sabine, and Ben.
The historical and political discussions with Anya, Andrew, and Millie.
The constant capstone nudges from Yasmin.
And everyone else in the cohort, from Megan, Preeti, and Lucy, to the full-timers who came before us, and the full-timers who came after.
And of course, Edward.
To Alvaro for his graceful, inclusive motivation.
To Alicia for her being a lifeline of support to so many of us.
To our capstone supervisors.
To the module leaders who allowed me to study everything from how TV lighting design covered up abuse to the furniture arrangement in sex clubs.
And to the wider LIS faculty and staff, who gamely embraced the chaos and somehow turned it into a curriculum.
And to the marketing department who designed that poster.
And to James and Maria Van Hilliker, who not only built and steered this ambitious degree, but also let us invade their kitchens and their inboxes for their insight, their inspiration,
and insanity.
We were united in a shared sense of curiosity
and a shared sense of panic.
We are, by any reasonable metric, a lucky bunch.
That's a lot of talk.
But that is the point. What other degree could bring up together such a wonderfully different group of people and somehow have us all leave liking each other more than we did at the start? In a world that is often very linear, LIS taught us to think sideways, to sit with complexity, to question jargon, to connect ideas that do not obviously belong together, and occasionally to eat books. I am incredibly excited to see where this community of interdisciplinarians takes its ideas next. Into health, policy, art, technology, and all the spaces in between.
To the bits.
And the bobs.
Love you all.
I feel like
got so much message. I wasn't live posting. It was so. Can I borrow your portable charger though?
Of course, yeah. Do you have
What came? So mine's USB-C.
Yes, I bought. Okay.
Oh my god, I love you. Thank you. My phone's on 25%.
Theo.